Well, first of all, I want to apologize for being just a few minutes late, but I had a really, really good receiver that I needed to talk to, and you guys don't have a lot of eligibility or playmaker ability, so apologize for that. Coaching a little overrated sometimes. You need good players. Anyway, starting off, I'll tell you, this has been what a fun time and what a great time it is. And I think unprecedented time in our football history here. You know, we've got a great tradition here and got a great past. But when you look at all the things going on, it's pretty cool to look out the door and see the new stadium going in. And you're thinking, 24 months, man, we'll have a brand new stadium, brand new football complex. And that's a lot of stuff to get done in your third year. And really, really blessed to be able to do that. But moreover than that, that's just brick and mortar. What you see in our program, I know you guys been around our program, can see, man, it's exciting to see the speed, the athleticism, the depth, see the work ethic. That's one of the reasons why we invited some of you, all you guys to come in and be able to sit in our meetings and be a part of what we're doing. Is we really, this is a really, really special group of young men. So the things, our values that we've tried to instill of character, smart, disciplined, tough. Let's be the most disciplined team, most physical team, fastest team that we've had. It's been an awesome few days of camp so far, and lots of positive things. Very, very highly competitive. Today was one of the Coach Ship is not a person that passes out a lot of compliments. But after practice today, he walked over to me. He said, "Coach, that was the most impressive speed, physicality, and finish practice that we've had since we've been here." So that's something we're excited about. So looking forward to the season. Looking forward to Camp T. Looking forward to galvanizing this team as we move forward. So everything where we're at right now is exactly where we want to be. And so got a great belief in where we're going. Questions?
If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you.
Coach, how hard is it to keep everyone focused? There's so much positive press about the team. Building from last year to this year, is it hard to keep everyone on page and focused?
I think that's probably the number one thing is I don't think you can. It's like people say, what are you telling your kids the week of the game? It's too late. You have to develop. What gives me confidence right now is I think we're mentally mature enough right now to handle that, right? And two, from the time I walked in here, I've told them exactly how it's going to do, exactly how it works. And there's not a program in the country that can compete for a national championship that doesn't have the same problem. There's not a team in the Pac-12 that can win the Pac-12 that doesn't have to learn how to handle success. And the reality is everything that's being said right now doesn't matter. The great thing, you get to play the games. And so we really spend an awful lot of time here in focusing our players and every day them submitting to the team, right? Because from the time you walk out this door, man, there's a lot of distractions. But on the same hand, I tell people, we embrace the distractions that we have with the media. Are you kidding me? You're the extension to the Sun Devil Nation, to our fans. Man, I mean, I've done press conferences in places I've worked, there wasn't 1 or 2 people in, right? I mean, this is something that you just got to stay, and you got to keep things in perspective. And we talk about climbing a mountain. It's been easy, not easy, but it's to get to 10 wins a year is been the gradual part, and then now it's steep. And to get to where we want to go, we've got to take it to a different level, and that requires fuel, passion, and you're just never going to win a championship if your expectations aren't that. So it's fun. I like it. I can tell you this, that our players understand that being the Pac-12 champions is the minimum expectation. And that means that's exactly the way I want it. We haven't won it yet, so We've won the South, and we've competed every year. But to me, how you win it is expecting to win it. I think our guys believed they could win up until this point. I think there's an expectation now. And there's also, a lot of you can talk a big game. You got to have training, and you got to have knowledge to back it up. I think we're getting to the point where we're getting there. I can tell you this, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but I know our team is one heck of a lot better.
Todd, you've been very complimentary of Corey Smith the last few days. I know he's been hurt, but where has he shown the most progress?
Yeah, wow, to see what he's gone through, Doug, to see 2 years of injury with that hip, and to see him coming off that football like that and being physical the way he is. Obviously, he's still got a lot to learn, but to see him, he's going to be we've looked in the last few days. He's moved all the way up to the starting rotation, so really happy for him. Rennell Wren is another one. There's a redshirt freshman that, man, looks completely different. But Corey, I'm really proud of Corey because he's faced an awful lot of adversity. And, man, I really like how you look out there on that D-line. There's a whole lot of 6'6", 300-plus pounders that can run and that are really, really physical. So we like that. Corey's, man, what a great story that is right there. I mean, to go through 2 years he's been here 2 years waiting for this opportunity. And am I surprised? Totally. Because you just don't know. You have no idea how he's going to respond to that, But, man, I like when I'm surprised. And I didn't know how he was going to respond from the surgery and all that. And I think the trainers and strength staff did a remarkable job with him as well, because his flexibility and how he rehabbed that was pretty phenomenal. He's physical now, very physical.
Todd, you alluded to this a little bit with the image of the mountain, but first off, would you say that you believe your culture is fully installed here nowadays, and if so, how has that altered your own expectations for the program?
I think our culture will be fully installed when we win the Pac-12. But I do think that I can tell you this, I tell people this all the time, I can guarantee you we're going to win. Guaranteed. Now, I don't know what's going to happen on the football field. Man, what a fun group of guys to coach. That the discipline, the character, the culture of really wanting and seeking to be a smart team and a team that does the little things right, because that's the key. We're 90% of the way there. That makes sense. Until you win a championship, we're not there. And the worst thing that we can do is stay the same. And, man, that's what's so hard. What's so hard about winning 10 is Coach Cassidy, who's with me every day, he'll tell you that I was miserable to win 10 games last year. So was everybody around here, because our expectations were a lot higher than that, and so was, our potential. You know what I mean? Now, have we done a good job? We've won more games in 3 years than anybody's ever been here. Well, that's great, but we'll win championships. And moreover than that, I know that what this program's going to produce year in and year out from the kids that come in and leave, these guys know what it is to live a championship life. And, man, I feel real good about how we're doing that.
Sort of piggybacking on Craig's question, you mentioned, I believe, at Pac-12 Media Day, you have 70 Scholar Ballers now, including walk-ons. Are you able to provide additional context about the development of the program in terms of the mental side, the classroom, things that stand out to you? I mean, it was one of the most penalized programs in the country the year before you took over.
Yeah, one of the things that I always tell people, the values and the things that I talk about is not because, I'm some goody-goody guy or something like that. It's nothing like that, or because I'm a good guy. It's because that's what wins. Whether you're running a business or whatever you're running, that if you will emphasize service, that's what we talk about character. We talk about serving and sacrificing, right? And you talk about smart, that's about making smart decisions. But you look at our team, 12 academic all Pac-12 teams. I don't know if it was the first time, but I can't find one when we had the Scholar Athlete of the Year. Was Pat a scholarship? He was the Scholar Athlete of the Year? Okay. Well, that's the last time. Well, that's pretty good. Mike Nixon was the other one, right? Okay. But, I mean, to be in the conference that we're in academically and to have our guys representing that in that way is really impressive. And understand this, now what we've done is being a scholar baller is just a minimum expectation. And what I've found as our team becomes smarter in the classroom and producing in the classroom, I find that it's smarter on the field. I'm using every angle I can to get smart, to win games, and that's one of the things that's really, right now we're good. We're trying to be elite, and greats in between. And so that, you know, the discipline and the smart, see, character smart produces discipline. And if you said, Coach, you can't use but one word, what do you have to win? Discipline. Because you're never going to be tough without it, right? You just can't win without it. And so people focus on too many different things. So we've come a long way, but I'll be real. I'm telling you, like, the penalty deal is not something that was very difficult for me, because, you know, it's not because I'm so. Because when I talk about discipline, I want you to understand it's instilling self-discipline in the player. I actually personally ask each one of them for permission to coach them hard. So, because the key is their buy-in. So it has a lot to do with education and culture. So we just don't have many of the deterrents that we've had in the first few years. And so, and I think it just helps us culturally that in recruiting, too much emphasis in recruiting put on great recruiters, salesmen, great salesmen. Your best recruiters are your players. You produce in your program, it's going to show back up. Recruiting is about diligence and recruiting the right people. So I think discipline in what we've done off the field academically, what we do in community service, we're winning in all those areas, and we're good. We're trying to be elite. So I think we've made great progress when it comes to that. But I don't. Some of those things were things that, just like watch our kids. They get a penalty, you can see them. They turn to the sideline and start running. That's all you got to do. I mean, you don't have penalties. But on the same hand, now we're not playing cautious either, right? And so that's been an education. That's just about teaching, minimizing. But I do think that's the number one thing that tells you how disciplined you are, is the penalty stuff. So we've done a lot of great things from that standpoint when it comes from discipline on the field, off the field, and academically. I mean, let me tell you this now. We haven't been immune. We have a few kids get in trouble and stuff like that. But, let me tell you this. That's not our attitude. Our deal's 100%. And so that's how you know we're not there yet. But I would put, what we do in our players, I wouldn't trade them for anybody. And I'm pretty proud of what they've accomplished in those areas.
Coach, how has DJ accepted the change in position? Are you happy with what you see so far?
Yeah, and just so you know, because I don't want you guys saying that I'm full of crap after the first game. That's been blown out of proportion a little bit. So everybody's clear on what DJ's doing. Is that DJ, yes, is primarily playing receiver, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be in the backfield. I can tell you, I've told Coach Norvell clearly to make sure that he's going to have a bunch of touches in every which way we can. Right now, if you told me who's the MVP of training camp, it would far and away be DJ. He's taken his intensity, his passion, his fundamentals, his competitiveness, and he's flat leading. And just, fanatical energy in practice and in the meetings. So I think he's handled it very, very well. But I want you to know he's not just going to play wide receiver every down. He's not playing inside. He's going to be moved around, and he's also going to carry the ball out of the backfield as well because, I think he's, he's one of the most dynamic, versatile players I've ever coached. And so that is real important that we utilize that. One of the things that stuck out a lot to me right now in camp, from an offensive standpoint, is our speed, our one-play, explosive play ability. And obviously he's the guy that can do that. But there's the thing that I think is going to help DJ. We got quite a few guys around him that can do the same thing. So he's handled it great. He's had a great. I'm as excited about what he's done because he's the if not the best player, he's got to be one of them in this program. And to get your best player to humble himself and to really strive hard to improve and to say, coach me harder, he's demanding more from himself than we are from him. That's exciting. So that's how he's handled that move.
Coach, how comforting is it to have Mike, back at quarterback, and as the new quarterback, but not really new because he got some playing time last year and got his feet wet?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mike is a guy that anytime you've sacrificed and have the type of time that he's invested here, tells you what it means to him to be a Sun Devil. He's got some experience. He's a fifth-year senior, so he's not like just having a new guy. The key for him is what I told him today. I want you to do everything you do right now, just like Taylor Kelly's still here. You know what I'm saying? Compete like that every day. And, probably the thing that, just not put too much pressure. Don't try to do too much. The guy that you're following has more yards than anybody that's ever played here. And he'd tell you he'd trade it for a championship any day, right? And so Mike Bercovici, it starts with the quarterback. His experience, his sacrifices, what he's invested in this program, I think really gives us a great opportunity to compete for a championship this year. And so I like that. But on the same hand, we got to really be dialed in and focused. The only way we're not going to score more points than we've ever scored this year is turn the ball over, because we are substantially better at every spot. But the key is quarterback, right? And how he manages that is very, very important. And so I've got a lot of confidence in him. I've said this yesterday. I think the bigger story is who's going to be number two. Because last year, you'd ask me that question, I'd say, I'm not worried about quarterback. I've not worried about quarterback since I've been here. I'm worried about quarterback. Because we've got one that I feel really, really good about. We got a lot of talent, right, that is young. We need to really develop that. And it's been a good, 4 or 5 days, so far. And I feel confident they'll get there. But it just, last year was Taylor's fifth-year senior. And he was, so that was 9 years of experience between two guys, pretty nice. And so we got one guy with experience and no one else.
Yeah, so Coach, you obviously have a ton of local players in this roster: Christian Resterman, Grant Martinez, Bryce Perkins, list goes on and on, but nobody as big as DJ Foster. So when you're recruiting top-tier guys from right here in the Valley, how valuable is that success that DJ Foster's experienced? Continue that sales pitch and that conversation with these top-tier Arizona recruits.
Oh yeah, I mean, all you got to do in recruiting is go win 15 games. I think we'll get better. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell people is that I have so much respect for DJ, but he was such a mature kid. Because see, in recruiting, it matters who you are as a person. What are you looking for? People clearly know what we're about. We have a clear identity, right? And we have a lot to offer. No one, when you come here, it's not for convenience. It's because we're one of the best programs in the Pac-12 and a top 15 program in the country. So, yeah, DJ having a big year, man. I want to see him win every game. I want to see him reach all of his dreams and aspirations. And I'll forever be grateful that he had nothing to go on and a lot of probably pretty good reasons not to come here from that wasn't the most pleasant time in my life either. And DJ trusted me. And moreover than that, it wasn't about Coach Graham. He wanted to be a Sun Devil. That's why he came here. And I think he trusted us from a schematic standpoint, and he knew. I think the relationship he built with me and Mike, I think he did trust us. And so now we got a body of work to go on, and so many of these kids are getting caught up in all the recruiting stuff and making bad decisions, and then they end up transferring and coming back and all that. And I'm not saying every one of them fit here, but we got a pretty good deal to offer them here, and I think DJ's a great testimony to that. I'll tell you a guy, that one of the most impressive young men when I think about local guys is Bryce Perkins, most underrated guy. Ratings and all that stuff. That guy right here, he's been impressive, going to be impressive, a guy that fits what we're about. And so, Christian, look at that story. He went to Auburn. They just won a national championship, and he told me in 2 or 3 days here, he got more love than he got an entire year when he was at Auburn. Now, I bet it was a great official visit. But, if you're from here, and I think you'll see that. I think you'll see as you'll reap what you sow. I'm excited about what we're fixing to do on the field, and I think what we can do here at home. I want to be that. I want to provide a top 5 program in the nation, a championship program to this valley, and to serve these kids that are here. And I think we're close to getting that done.
Todd, when you introduced the PT 42 practice jersey, you said the goal was to get everybody on defense wearing those jerseys. I think with Antonio Longino wearing one today.
I said that. Did I really say that?
I think with Longino wearing one today for the first time, that's 5 guys on defense. So what does that say about that group right now?
Well, we got a special group. I tell you, Antonio is I told him today he looks completely different, and he's pretty good. He has had an unbelievable camp, and what an incredible story. He's a graduate. He graduated. What a big deal that is, man. And so obviously being in the Tillman jersey, you gotta reach your potential academically, and then you got to play with a certain level of passion on the field. You got to earn that every day too. A lot of them don't keep them every day, but I think it speaks volumes about where we are defensively. Obviously, offensively, it's the same thing. I know Burke is supposed to be wearing one. I don't know if he does. Maybe he doesn't like wearing 42. And I guess if you're the quarterback, you can do whatever you want to. But that is the kind of the where we're all shooting for. Is to reach our potential academically on the field and the leadership part of it. So we're closer to being where we want to be, is what that tells you looking out there. The flame helmets mean something. I don't know if y'all figured that out yet. $10 a head, I'll tell you what that is. No, it's the flame helmet represents, doesn't have anything to do with academics. Flame helmet represents your effort, your mental and your physical effort in meetings and in practice. And so you see DJ Scott, or D. Scott, from special teams is wearing one. So you got to earn that helmet every day. So we use the flame helmets. The PT 42, though, now is 3-part. It's academics, reaching your potential there. It's playing in the ballpark with the passion that Pat displayed when he played, and then also service in the community and what you're doing there. So we got quite a few guys in it, and we haven't had that to this point, and we grade pretty hard on that.